She let me believe I was finally becoming a father at 53. I built the crib, I painted the walls, then the baby arrived, and the delivery room. Told me everything my wife never would. The nurse hesitated. That was the first crack. Not the blood. Not the crying. Not even the way my wife refused to look at me. It was the hesitation. She stood there, holding the clipboard too tightly, eyes flicking from the baby. To me, then away. I noticed things like that. I always had. "Sir," she said, but didn't finish. A pause. A breath. A decision being made in real time. Behind her, my son, was crying with a voice that felt like it was clawing something open inside my chest. 53 years. That's how long I had waited to hear that sound. I had built the crib myself. Measured every angle twice, sanded every edge smooth. Painted the nursery in a soft shade of blue that my wife said felt hopeful. Hope. Strange word. It tastes different now. "Is something wrong?" I asked. My voice didn't shake. It never does. The nurse forced a smile. The kind that doesn't reach the eyes. "No, sir, just routine procedures." Routine. But her fingers trembled slightly as she adjusted the blanket around the baby. And then I saw it. A detail so small it would have slipped past anyone else. Anyone who wasn't already paying attention. The baby's blood type tag. Not mine. Not hers. Something else. And suddenly the room felt colder. I didn't react. That's the thing about shock. Real shock, it doesn't explode. It freezes. It sharpens. It turns everything into slow motion. My wife lay there, pale, exhausted. But her eyes were closed. Too tightly closed. Like a child pretending to sleep. Avoidance. Guilt. Or fear. Maybe all three. I stepped closer to the bassinet. Looked down at the child. Small, fragile, innocent. And completely foreign. I tried to calculate it. Genetics, probabilities, rare combinations. I've always trusted logic over emotion. Logic said, "This doesn't happen by accident." "Can I hold him?" I asked. The nurse hesitated again. Just for a fraction of a second. Then she nodded. I took the baby into my arms. Carefully, deliberately, studying him, searching. Not for resemblance, but for truth. Nothing, no trace of me, no hecho, no familiarity. Just a stranger wearing the title I had spent decades preparing for. Behind me, my wife finally spoke. Soft, fragile. "You're happy, right?" I turned slightly. Looked at her. Really looked. And in that moment, I saw something I had never seen before. Not love, not relief, but calculation. A quiet, desperate calculation. "I am," I said. And I meant it. Because happiness and truth are not always connected. But something had shifted. A hairline fracture beneath the surface. And I knew, without evidence, without confirmation, this wasn't my child. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Emotion is a liability, and I've never been careless with liabilities. I went home alone that night. She stayed in the hospital. Recovery, they said. I stood in the nursery, looked at the crib, ran my fingers along the wood I had shaped with my own hands. Every curve, every joint, perfect, built for a lie. I sat down in the chair beside it, and I started thinking, methodically, step by step. First, verification. I arranged a private DNA test, not through the hospital. I didn't trust systems that could be influenced. I needed something controlled. While I waited, I observed. Her phone, her patterns, her silences. People reveal themselves in the gaps, not the words. She started taking her phone into the bathroom, sleeping with it under her pillow. Messages deleted too quickly. Calls that ended when I entered the room. Subtle, but not subtle enough. One night she left it unlocked. A mistake. Just once. That's all it takes. I didn't scroll. I didn't panic. I searched. Directly. A name. Repeated. Hidden under something ordinary. Ali, electrician. I almost smiled. Predictable. The messages weren't long. They didn't need to be. I miss you. He looks nothing like you. You promised this would stay between us. Silence. Then, he deserves to know. That one lingered. Like a loose thread. I didn't pull it. Not yet. Days passed. I held the baby. Fed him. Watched him sleep. Played the role perfectly. Because that's what this was now. A performance. And I needed the final act before I stepped off stage. Then the results came. Simple envelope. No emotion. No drama. Just facts. Cold. Precise. Final. I opened it alone. In the same chair where I had imagined bedtime stories. Laughter. A future. I read it once. Then again. Not because I didn't understand, but because repetition removes doubt. Probability of paternity, 0%. Clean, absolute, irrefutable. I folded the paper carefully, placed it back in the envelope, and waited. That night she came home, carrying the baby, smiling, carefully, like someone trying not to disturb something fragile. "Dinner?" she asked. I nodded. We ate in silence. The baby slept between us, a quiet witness. When she finished, I placed the envelope on the table. Gently, no sudden movements, no raised voice. "What's this?" she asked. Her fingers hovered over it. "Didn't touch it. Open it." She did, slowly. Her eyes moved across the page, and then they stopped. Her breath caught. A small, broken sound escaped her. "No," she whispered. Not denial, recognition. "I was going to tell you." "Were you?" My voice was calm. Too calm. She looked up at me, tears forming. "I didn't know how. After or before you asked me to build the crib." Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. I thought you'd never find out. Honesty. Finally. Raw, ugly, late. I leaned back in my chair. Studied her. Not as my wife, but as a problem I had now solved. "Who is he?" She hesitated. Then, "Ali." Of course. Predictable until the end. "I invited him," I said. She blinked. Confused. "What?" "He'll be here soon." Her face drained of color. Panic. Pure unfiltered panic. "You didn't?" "I did." A knock on the door. Perfect timing. I stood. Walked calmly to the door. Opened it. He looked younger than I expected. Nervous. Uncertain. He knew. Of course he knew. "Come in," I said. He stepped inside slowly. Eyes darting to her. Then to the baby. Then to me. "I think you should meet your son," I said. The word landed like a blade. She started crying. Soft at first. Then louder. "Messier." I ignored it. I gestured toward the baby. He didn't move. I didn't think— "Neither did I interrupted. Silence. Thick. Uncomfortable. I placed the DNA report on the table between us. A centerpiece. A truth no one could escape. "You can take responsibility now," I said. "No more hiding." I turned to her. "You wanted him to know." A pause. A breath. A final cut. "Now he does." I walked to the bedroom. Picked up a suitcase I had already packed. Weeks ago. Because deep down, I had known. I stopped at the door. Didn't look back. "I built the crib," I said quietly. "For a life that doesn't exist." Then I left. The house felt different the moment I stepped out. Lighter, quieter, like something toxic had finally been removed. I didn't feel anger. Not anymore. Anger is loud, messy, temporary. What I felt was clarity. Cold. Precise. Permanent. I had given her everything. Time, trust, a future. And she had turned it into a performance. A carefully constructed illusion. But illusions don't survive scrutiny. And I've always been very good at seeing what others try to hide. People think betrayal is about emotion. It isn't. It's about calculation. Risk versus reward. And she miscalculated. Badly. I got into my car. Didn't rush. Didn't hesitate. Just moved forward. Because that's what you do when something ends cleanly. You don't look back. You don't wonder what if. You don't mourn something that was never real. The engine started. A low, steady hum. Predictable. Reliable. Unlike people. I drove away without checking the rearview mirror. Because there was nothing behind me worth seeing anymore. And for the first time in years, I wasn't waiting for anything. Not love, not truth, not a child. Just silence and control. I didn't lose a family that day. I uncovered a lie, and I walked away from it before it had the chance to call itself my life.